That's your big plan? Wow. Talk to her, man. Oh, yes, sir.
Jesus, I looked him up.
I don't believe a word you just said.
That's half the fun, huh?
I'm backed into a corner. You can't stop a beloved trait, Jimmy.
You tried to make me doubt the ethnicity of my creator and everything that I have built my life upon.
What?
Earl, Jeff in Las Vegas. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm thrilled to talk to you, man. I'm just a big fan of yours.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
How are you?
I'm good. You want the lens this way or horizontal like yours?
Whatever you choose. That looks fine.
Oh,
yeah.
that's fine with me then. You know.
Well, thanks for talking about American Sausage Standoff. You know, this movie just reflects my sense of humor. I have a dark sense of humor, you know, and I mean, just every few minutes in this movie is just something to cherish. I mean, it is so bizarre, so off the wall, based on true events too, which is even more bizarre. Your character, Jimmy Jerry Lee Jones Jr. I mean, you have the best part of the movie, dude. I mean, you're my favorite character.
Well, thank you.
And that's hard to stand out with this big ensemble cast because there's a lot of crazy characters in this movie.
Thank you. Yeah, I was reading it, and I mean, I don't want to spoil any part of the movie, but I was reading it here in my office, and I was laughing out loud and just kind of in shock at some of the scenes that he had written, including that ending. He took that from that was an actual event that occurred. The guy did not survive it, but it really occurred.
Well, you know, to set up the movie, you know, Edward Hoffler wants to bring his family recipe of German sausages to Midwest America, to Gutterby of all places. He wants to live the American dream. Did he pick the wrong town?
Well, the way it ended up, I'm not sure if he did or not. You know, it's a satire of America. It's you know, that Ulrich's vision of what small town America is. I grew up there. I grew up in a small town in Kentucky, not in Texas, but you know, I understand where Jimmy Jerry Lee was coming from. He just was he approached it the wrong way. So, well,
you know, Jimmy and his xenophobia and his bigotry, it seems like the town was afraid to confront him. You know, there were parts of the town who were, when he was confronting them in a group, kind of accepting it, but then towards the end of the movie, they really didn't feel that way. You know, they felt that he was kind of a relic of the past, but they were all scared of him because, you know, Jimmy Jerry Lee, he was a pretty tough guy. I mean, he was a clown at times, but you don't underestimate him, right?
He was the town bully.
Yeah.
Who was desperate to hold on to, you know, living in the shadow of his father who had run the town, and the town's drying up. It's, you know, it's shrinking, it's going away, and he's desperate to hold on to it and live up to his dad's legacy. And he's a bully. So combine all of those things and bad things can occur. And some of them are really, really funny.
And he can sing a mean ballad if he wants to, right?
I can actually sing and play much better than Jimmy Jerry Lee.
I thought there was going to be like a musical number in the movie, like just give him his moment, you know, but it never happened. Things kept happening to him where he couldn't perform, which I thought was just such great karma.
We actually filmed. There is more of that performance on stage, but they trimmed it down when he was having his moment of digestional crisis and thought he was dying on stage. There was a little bit more that we filmed of playing and singing, but it needed to be trimmed.
I love the dynamic, you know, with Jimmy's relationship with his son, because, you know, his bigotry extends to his son, who's, you know, but then there's moments when you're like, oh, he really does care about him. And then it just turns back around again. So you can never trust Jimmy Lee Jones. I mean, you don't understand this guy, where he's coming from, you know, but I think there was something deep down that he did care for his son.
Yeah. But that's also where his true cruelty gets expressed too, in the way that he treats him. You know, again, I don't want to spoil plots of the movie. That's what leads to, you know, his son is finally can't take it anymore and he snaps. That's what leads to that tragic, albeit funny ending.
Well, it's because that's the way, you know, Jimmy Jerry Lee communicates with his son. But I think his son didn't get it. But then it was just too much. It was just too much at one point. But, you know, Jimmy can take a punch to the nose, too, right? That scene, did any loose punches happen, or was that pretty choreographed?
No, we actually worked it out. No one got hurt in that. We'd measured them off. We'd measured the punches, and we made it through without any injuries.
You know, I was just like I was saying about the dark humor of this movie, because you know there were times where I'm like, wow, this is such a great little dark comedy, but then when you're kind of laughing at these characters and having a good time, it can turn dark multiple times in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, why did they do that? Because you just stop laughing, you know, and it's just like,
Yeah.
but then you realize, you know, that's the outcome of this true story.
Yeah, it is really really dark in some spots. You know, even reading it, I felt the same way, and it reminded me most of Coen Brothers movies. But then, you know, the Coens are heavily influenced by European films, so it's its own unique animal.
And tell me about working with Anthony Starr, because that's, I think, you know, I know him only from The Boys, you know, I know him from being a superhero and another dark show, but I didn't even recognize him in this movie. I mean, he just completely had this character that he really impressed me.
Yeah, we were actually just in Toronto working on separate shows, and there's, I'm not kidding you, there was a great Austrian sausage and schnitzel place there. And we kept making plans to get together and have a sausage, because we thought that'll just make like great social media press for American Sausage Story. And our schedules never coincided. He was doing The Boys and I was doing 5 Days of Memorial. So we never had our sausage get together, but we wanted to.
Well, that happened here too. I'm telling you, because I watched the movie. I'm like, I had to find some hot dog places in Vegas, you know, because I was craving one. I didn't want to go. I almost went to 7-Eleven, just kind of, you know, get one of those big bites. But yeah, this movie does make you hungry for sausages. I'll tell you that. And the movie's kind of bittersweet because Clark Middleton, I just love him in this, and it's just a, you know, a sad ending to it, but a great career for him. But I think this is one of his great performances.
It's yes, Clark was a dear friend. It's funny you say that.
Yes. Oh, look at that.
Clark, it's been on the 18th of last year. He went in the hospital, and his wife called me and told, I mean, you know, Clark dealt with health issues his entire life. And his wife called me and she said, it's bad. It's really bad. So yes, on the 18th will be 1 year ago. He went in the hospital, and 2 weeks later he was gone. But yeah, Clark was, we met, his brother works for Toby Keith. He's Toby's tour manager. And I've known those guys and Toby's crew. I've known them for years. And they kept saying, man, you gotta meet Kirby's brother. He's an actor in New York, man, you guys. And when Clark and I finally met, it was like, you ever met somebody you felt like you've known them before? That was what our friendship was like. It's like, you know, we see the world through a similar lens, and we became really good friends. And makes me very sad. Wish he could have seen our end product.
Yeah, sorry for your loss, but man, he left it all up there on screen with this film. I mean, I just, again, steals every scene he's in. So, and finally today, maybe you could put the rumors to rest about the trouble on the set with one of the actors. It's all over the internet. Kenny the Rooster. Was he that difficult to work with?
Well, he made my horse spook and run away on me.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I guess they're just all rumors, right?
Well, we did when it was that late night scene. It's where I come riding up out of darkness, and my horse was already. He didn't like me. So we had this scene where he kept wanting me to give him an apple, and I didn't have one. And it's a scene that was cut out of the film where me and the horse are in. So that kind of set the template that every time he'd see me, he didn't like me because I wouldn't give him an apple. So we're shooting out, and we're supposed to be riding up out of the darkness. Well, where they set our one outside of the light, there was some old piping that was laid out there that had been thrown out. And my horse stepped on one of them, and then he gets skittish.
Uh-oh.
And right when they yelled "and action," the rooster flapped his wings right beside my horse. My horse reared up and took off, and he was a total runaway. So yeah, the rooster, he tried to get me hurt.
Well, I'm not much of a rider, but I'm on a horse when it does a fast gallop. You think you're going to fall off, you know, it's just no matter what you do. So that had to be a scary moment. So
this was wide open, headed toward the crew, and I'm screaming at everybody, out of the way. He's a runaway, runaway, runaway. I got him pulled up, but yeah, it was spooky for a little bit.
man, what a great comedy. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I can't even talk to you about half the scenes I want to because it's a family show. You know, there are just some scenes towards the end of the movie with you that I'm like, this did not happen. You know, I'm dying to ask you how it worked, but you know what I'm talking about, you know. So
I do know.
I don't want to horse around with the truth, you know.
Me and the horse were filmed separately, and then they put them together with movie magic.
Yeah, it was movie magic. Thank you so much for joining me today. Congratulations on a great film, and come visit us in Las Vegas soon, man. I love to.
Thank you.
love to have
I
you
plan
here.
on it. I plan on it. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Take care.